I feel great. It's gonna be one of my best victories in my career. Obviously, he's a great fighter. He's a legend. But it's gonna be good for my books.
I'm all about making history. I was the first two-time undisputed champion of the world, and I can assure you I'm gonna be the first three-time undisputed champion of the world.
Canelo Alvarez's bold prediction that Terence Crawford would employ an evasive strategy ignited a fierce psychological battle ahead of their anticipated clash. This daring remark not only added fuel to the fire but also served as a mental tactic, intensifying Crawford's relentless pursuit of becoming boxing's first-ever three-division undisputed champion. Their rivalry now rests on a foundation of personal provocation and historic significance, with unwavering confidence fueling both fighters.
I feel great. It's gonna be one of my best victories in my career. Obviously, he's a great fighter. He's a legend. But it's gonna be good for my book.
On the opposite side, Terence Crawford radiated quiet determination, affirming his goal to leave an indelible mark on boxing history. Already a multi-division undisputed champion, Crawford set his sights on a third, making it clear he was focused on rewriting the sports record books. While respectful toward Canelo, Crawford's tone sharpened with resolve, vowing to leave no doubts in the ring and cement his legacy.
I'm all about making history. I was the first two-time undisputed champion of the world, and I can assure you I'm gonna be the first three-time undisputed champion of the world. Yes. I respect Canelo, just like I respect every one of my other opponents before Canelo. But once it get close to that time, it's time to go to work, And when we go to work, y'all know what comes after that.
Canelo Alvarez remained composed when asked about his place among boxing legends. Dismissing labels of greatness, he insisted that his record would speak louder than self-promotion. Yet, his tone grew pointed when discussing Crawford, confidently asserting his ability to win regardless of the circumstances, underscoring his unwavering belief in his skill.
Victories in my career, obviously. He's a great fighter, he's a legend, but it's gonna be good for my books.
Go ahead, sir. Dana, you followed boxing so closely for decades.
Former champion Mikey Garcia offered a nuanced perspective, analyzing how Crawford might respond to Canelo's formidable power. He suggested that a decisive punch from Canelo could push Crawford into retreat, not out of fear, but as a survival instinct. Recognizing Crawford's skill, Garcia emphasized that an upset victory over Alvarez would elevate Crawford into the sport's all-time elite.
Takes a shot from Canelo. One of those uppercuts from Gia or those...
He could get dropped, or he feels it enough to be like, fuck this, I'm boxing. And goes on the bicycle and turns southpaw for the rest of the night. And I wouldn't blame him either. Fuck it, you're gonna go in there and collect a fucking paycheck at that point.
Right.
You're not gonna go get hurt.
Right.
What good is it to get fucking 20, 30 million if you are fucking hurt physically, end up in the hospital and hurt just physically, life-changing, you don't want that shit.
But you think Canelo could hurt him or it could be life-changing?
Good, he's that big, fool. One punch could fucking knock him out bad enough to hurt his eye socket or detached retina. You never fucking know.
Right.
So no one wants that shit.
Crawford said if he beats him, he's in the top 3 GOATs of all time.
Oh, for sure. If Crawford beats Canelo, then for sure, he'll motherfucking props in the world, bro. And he actually does have a chance. It's not like he's done.
Enter YouTuber and analyst Chobus, who posed a critical question: can Canelo's legendary chin withstand Crawford's precise, unexpected strikes? Highlighting Crawford's accuracy-driven knockouts, Chobus pointed out that a single clean shot could change everything, challenging the myth of Canelo's invincibility and leaving open the possibility of an astonishing upset.
Question I had, which I didn't ask before, because Canelo's chin is one of the greatest chins in history. But looking at the size of Crawford, if he can keep his speed, he's definitely going to keep his timing, he's definitely going to keep his accuracy. Crawford is a knockout artist. The reason why Crawford is a knockout artist is because of his hand-eye coordination, accuracy, and timing. He hits you with shit that you're not expecting. That shit that he hit Errol Spence with, he didn't expect it, that's why he dropped. Same thing with Kell Brook. He's going to hit Canelo with something weird. Canelo ain't going to be able to roll out of it, because Crawford's timing is different. Canelo's going to get hit with flush. But the thing is, Berlanga hit Canelo flush after the punch. So that lets you know what kind of chin he has. I'm just saying, can he stymie, can he bell ring Canelo a little bit? Can he sting him a bit to make Canelo not tank with will?
Undeterred, Crawford made his intentions crystal clear. He wanted Canelo Alvarez, and he wanted him now. Labeling Canelo as the last icon of a golden era, Crawford expressed admiration but emphasized that this was his moment. Defeating Canelo would be the defining achievement of his storied career.
Because, like I said, he the last great fighter amongst the era that surpassed us. You know, the Floyd, the Pacquiao, the De La Hoya. We both came up in that era, and he was right there with those fighters, and he got the chance to fight the Miguel Cottos, the Floyd Mayweathers, and you know, the Kovalevs and Triple G's, and I wasn't able to get those mega fights, you know, so this is my mega fight, this is my moment, and that's the reason why I want to fight all.
Not everyone was convinced, however. Lil Yachty voiced skepticism, questioning Crawford's ability to jump 3 weight divisions. He pointed out that such leaps are historically rare without rehydration clauses and believed Canelo's increased mass could be the key to breaking Crawford's resistance.
Who you like in this fight?
Canelo.
Why? Because Bud had to move up 3 classes?
Yes. And in the history of boxing, I've never seen anybody move up 2 classes and be successful.
Well, Roy did.
I mean, but not in one jump. Not in one leap.
Right, you're right.
It was here,
right.
Light, heavyweight, fight a few fights,
right.
Okay, heavyweight. We talking about he just fought 147 one fight ago.
Right.
And then you gonna fight at 168?
Yeah. Did he fight his last fight at 54?
Yes, just one fight.
Right.
Though.
And so now he'd go from 54 to 60 to 68.
Right.
And then he doesn't have a rehydration clause, so Canelo might be 180. 185, 190.
190.
Right. He thinks he can outbox Canelo.
I think he can outbox Canelo too until he get hit.
Tactical debates intensified as analyst Mark Tids weighed in, noting that while Crawford's stylistic advantages were evident, the size difference favoring Canelo could tilt the scales. Still, he acknowledged that an upset was possible, hinging on timing and ring intelligence rather than brute strength alone.
I fancied Terence Crawford, yeah? But the weight, I'm leaning toward Canelo, because, you know, I think it's going to suit Canelo more, the weight advantage. But, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if Terence Crawford won, and I wouldn't be surprised if Canelo won. Not sitting on the fence, it's just that, but if I have to lean towards someone, it would be Canelo, because of the weight's going to suit.
Veteran coach Abel Sanchez dismissed the matchup as somewhat ridiculous. While recognizing Crawford's early agility, he predicted it would fade under Canelo's relentless attack. Sanchez believed the size disparity was too vast, and each punch from Canelo would gradually take its toll, leading to a decisive finish.
I think that Crawford is too small. Canelo is, in my opinion, the face of boxing right now. I think that look at his resume. I think it's a good fight for a little while. Crawford's hand speed will, just like when Golovkin fought Kell Brook, the hand speed was evident at the beginning of the fight. But as the fight goes on, Canelo's going to start pounding on him, and I think that the fight ends somewhere between the 9th and 12th round.
You really think because of the size difference, he can stop Crawford?
Well, absolutely. I think that anything Canelo hits him with is going to hurt him. He won't be able to catch him early because, like I said, the speed and the foot speed and the hand speed. And Crawford's a heck of a fighter at his own weight. 54, when he fought Madrimov in his last fight, showed us that he can't really, the weight makes a difference. I don't care how much weight he gains and how much he does to try to get up to that level, 168.
Adding a layer of caution, Kell Brook shared personal insights about moving up in weight. Warning that such jumps are punishing, he questioned whether Crawford still retained the mobility needed to evade Canelo's charging attacks. Compared to Mayweather's elusive style, Brook saw Crawford as more calculated and less likely to escape for all 12 rounds.
Crawford's gonna have to, move up, and I knew when I boxed Golovkin, there's a big difference, especially with someone that, fighting a middleweight, a mediocre world champion's okay, but when you're fighting someone like, Canelo or Golovkin, it's a different kettle of fish, I have to lean towards Canelo, but, Crawford's very, very, very good. I think when we look back at Mayweather when he beat Canelo, he's a mover. Crawford's not really like Mayweather in that aspect. He's more, he kind of sets his feet. It's just he's cute with how he approaches chucking shots and moving. You know what I mean? I think it's a different fight to Mayweather, and Canelo's obviously a different fight from.
Legendary promoter Bob Arum offered a different perspective, criticizing Canelo's recent fights as more about business than pride. He questioned which Canelo would show up, whether the hungry champion or the content superstar with little to prove, highlighting the unpredictability of his current form.
Has shown in his last few fights that he's just a businessman. He's not in there to entertain the public. He just takes the big check. But again, if Canelo really fights, because I think it's safe to say Terence always fights. He doesn't know anything else. So then it could be a very good, interesting fight. Hello, what Canelo is going to show up? The Canelo who's looking to cash a big check, or the Canelo that really wants to fight like a fighter? Now, the Canelo we've seen the last 2 years is not only boring, but doesn't really have an incentive to mix it up and to entertain people with a good fight.
Denzel Betley, representing a younger generation, echoed concerns about Canelo's decline. Noting a noticeable drop since moving to 168 pounds, he pointed to Canelo's last fluid performance at 160 against Danny Jacobs. The upcoming showdown promises to test whether raw strength or precise technique will prevail, keeping fans on the edge of their seats.